Folks, the transfers have been made and the start of the season is upon us in the Premier League. Not as many players going out as I would have liked, but I'm hoping that the players that I have brought in, I hope they are of serious quality. Welcome back everyone to episode 2 of Beta Billions with Newcastle United. My name is Craig, and coming up on today's episode, of course, we've got the transfers that have been happening since I left you the previous month, in-game, not in real life, don't worry, and also our first Premier League game of the season away at Leicester City. Now, just to repeat what the aim of this whole series is about, throughout the whole beta period we'll be managing Newcastle United, and I'm hoping in 2 seasons we will be able to take them back into Europe, just like they were, say, roughly 20 years ago, back in days under Sir Bobby Robson. Let's give him the respect that that name deserves. So as far as transfers go, there have been a lot of those coming in. There have been a few of those going out, which is the ones that we're going to go through first. So starting off first with Mark Gillespie, who was one of our goalkeepers, like one of 4 goalkeepers that I literally inherited into this squad. 29-year-old English goalkeeper. He has now gone to DC United in the MLS in America. And how much did he actually go for again? I think it was 1.2, yeah. £1.2 million, which is a profit overall for Newcastle. Can't complain too much about that. And he's already played 4 games for DC United and he's doing pretty well. So it looks like he has found his level. But saying that, he just wasn't going to compete for a first team spot, considering I have actually brought in a goalkeeper, spoiler, but you don't know who it is yet. Yeah, it's decent business, and overall he just was not going to fit into our squad. Oh no, I didn't want to go to that screen. Hang on, I don't know if actually the new keeper was on that screen. Doesn't matter, I'm not going to give any spoilers away. He was surplus to requirements, that's all you need to know. Next up you have Emil Craft, who has gone to Celtic for £4.8 million. About, 100,000 less than what they paid for him. That's not really too bad, considering he wasn't exactly a regular for Newcastle in the Premier League. He was a right back, and again, considering the right back that I've actually brought in, another spoiler, he was not going to be getting many games. I think we had like 3 or 4 right backs when I first arrived, so getting at least one of them out is a pretty good sign, in all honesty. And for £4.8 million, it just helps balance the books, I suppose. It just gave us a little extra in transfer budget, not by much. I mean, how much of a dent is that going to make it in £200 million transfer budget? Dwight Gail is the next one who is out the door, and for anyone who knows about this man, I think we can all agree that he is championship quality. He was never going to cut it in the Premier League. He went for a cut price, unfortunately. We bought him for £10 million originally. He went for £2 million. That's because he barely scored any goals in the Premier League for Newcastle. That's all Nottingham Forest are willing to pay for him, and that's the only amount that I actually received for him, because no one else was willing to actually put in a bid for him. Saying that, £2 million, he's off the wage bill. It freed up a slot for another striker. Again, spoiler, we have brought in another striker, but he was never going to cut it in the Premier League. He was never, ever going to be a starter. Joe Linton is out the door. The man that I really did want to get out before the season started. The simple reason, he doesn't score. He hasn't scored for Newcastle ever. Well, I'll say ever. Barely. He's barely scored for Newcastle. 6 league goals in, 69 appearances. That doesn't scream Premier League quality to me. So he went for £7 million. It is a lot less than what Newcastle paid for him, but I think Newcastle paid over the odds for him in the first place. I know a lot of fans would probably agree with that now. Physically, yeah, he's okay, but no, he's not going to get much in the way of game time, I think, especially considering the players who would be around him, both up front and on the left wing. And we're not playing attacking midfield. You'll see what tactic we're going to be playing once we get to the first game. There was 2 more people who actually did go out. One of them was Kieran Clark, our central defender. He went out for free. I'm not going to show him because, again, he went out for free and he was another defender in a long line of defenders that I kind of wanted to get rid of, but he was the only one. I managed to get off the wage bill. 40k, by the way, Kieran Clark was on. But finally, is Martin Dubravka, the 32-year-old Slovakian number 1. He is out the door. That's because I didn't register him and I told him I'll move you on as soon as I can. Less than a week later, he's out the door, £15 million. Thank you very much. Nice little profit actually, £4 million, even including that loan fee Newcastle paid for him. Nearly £10 million profit, so very good business for Dubravka for a 32-year-old. And he's still injured. He's still injured for another 4 weeks, so we got ourselves an injured player off the wage bill. Lovely, lovely stuff. I can't remember how much it was actually on. I think it was like 60, 70k. In which case, that's a lot of wage bill trimmed off right there. But those are the major players that have actually gone from the first team squad. It's now time to reveal the list of players I actually did bring in. So I am going to be going through these players one by one, and we are going to start with what was my first signing, Rafinha from Leeds. Yes, the same one. He has come in, right winger, left winger, 24-year-old Brazilian, 3.5-star current ability, but we brought him in for £35 million. That's actually not a bad deal for a man who's supposedly worth how much? 46 to 50 million. I feel like we got him on sale. Lovely, lovely stuff. He was a regular for Leeds as well, so it's not we're not talking about a poor player here. He's got the physical attributes, he's got the technical ability, he's even got the mentals as well to back it up, especially that 17 flair. That is so useful on the wings. Him and Alan Saint-Maximin could be creating some major havoc down the left and right hand side of our attacking midfield. Second up is Declan Rice, their headline signing for this Newcastle team. People might be thinking, he's not an Mbappe or Haaland, is he? Let's keep things a little bit realistic here. Newcastle are not going to be going out buying Haaland and Mbappe straight off, are they? If ever. You know, they have to go to Newcastle. So then we are in the market for players like Declan Rice. We did bring him in for a massive fee, £78 million, could be rising to 88, but that depends on league appearances, etc, etc. Premier League experience, and to be honest with you, a regular, also of course an England international. How would I turn this man down? We know he's a good player. He's a good player for most Premier League sides, 4.5-star potential ability, which means he could actually get better. He's 22 years old, so he actually would get better as well. His mentals is very good. He's a tough tackler, clearly. He's a resolute player, he's tireless, but crucially as well, he can also play centre-back as well as defensive midfield. That's what I love most about him. He's very versatile. Tariq Lamptey, a right back. He can also play left back, but he's going to be mostly used as a right back. 20-year-old Englishman from Brighton. We brought him in for £55 million. Again, kind of cut price. Whoops, I did not want to do that. Kind of cut price, actually, considering he's worth nearly £100 million. But again, he's been playing for Brighton after leaving Chelsea, and this is a man who can only get better. Look at the acceleration and the pace on this man. Spirited individual as well. He's easily my top right back, and I'm looking forward to seeing this man in action. He's just going to be flying up and down the wings all day long. Jacob Davenport, right. Anyone who watched my Unemployed to Legends series in the last game at FM22, I've used Jacob Davenport in both my Wigan and Norwich City sides, both in the Premier League as well. The reason I brought him in? The mentals. Yes, he's very aggressive, he's very brave, which is a red card hazard. I do recognise that, but he is someone who's going to add a lot of bite to my midfield. He dives into tackles, he dictates the tempo, he does a lot of long-range passes. He does, effectively, have a lot of assists in him, provided he stays on the pitch. I'm kind of trusting him. Might be misplaced, but I'm trusting him. 22 years old as well, he can only get better. We brought him in for Blackburn, £2 million plus a player exchange. It was a youth player, someone who was never going to play for us. Next up is Emiliano Martinez, that goalkeeper that I was talking about. That is him. Emiliano Martinez, of course, he's had a season at Aston Villa. We brought him in for £30 million, sorry. It's a bit excessive if you think about it, but goalkeepers of Premier League experience, they're always going to be more expensive. And of course, I recognise him from, my club, Arsenal, my main club. So I was always going to want to try and bring this man in. Of course, Argentina's #1. Not exactly the #1 for a poor nation, but he is basically the direct replacement and a slightly younger replacement for Dubravka, which is exactly why I got rid of him in the first place. Josef Martinez. So I did want to go for his namesake, Lautaro Martinez. Didn't quite happen, so we went for the other one. We went from the other one Josef Martinez from Atlanta United. He has been absolutely destroying the MLS, so I'm hoping he continues that into the Premier League. £39 million, not too bad considering. I mean, we don't know how much he went to Atlanta for, but considering he's worth more than that, again, I feel we got a good deal for him. 28 years old, he is a Venezuelan international, can score. He's got what is, I suppose, what is called the holy trinity of the dribbling, finishing and the first touch is quite decent. He's got the physicals, he's got the mentals. He is basically first choice striker ahead of Callum Wilson. Diego Llorente from Leeds United and also formerly of Real Madrid. 27-year-old Spanish centre-back, 6'1", you know he's going up for corners, possibly. Bought him in for £30.5 million, so he wasn't a regular for Leeds, unlike Rafinha, but he's experienced, formerly of Real Madrid. He's going to be a good signing for us, I think. Probably the most risky of all the signings, but I think he'll be fine. And finally, our last signing of the summer so far, transfer window still open, Vernan Lodi, a 23-year-old Brazilian left-back. It says he's left midfield, I don't know why. He's a left-back from Atletico Madrid. We bought him in for £30 million. And how much is he worth? 60 to 67. I think that's how much we paid up front for him. Oh, no. No, £30 million overall. Right, so I got an absolute bargain here. Madrid did buy him for £17.5 million, but 30 million. Premier League prices, you know, we're the new rich boys in town. We're the new billionaires in town. But he's already a good player for most Premier League sides. And why is it saying left midfielder? Okay, I was going to say he's our best left back. Apparently not. So Sam Maximin. I don't know why it's still saying left midfield. I suppose that's supposed to be his best position, but whatever. He is our left back. He's our first choice left back, and he is someone, again, just like Lamptey, hopefully will be flying up and down the left wing. He's got the acceleration for it. His pace is decent as well. As far as I'm concerned, very, very good left back. So as far as the signings go, those are the ones that we've made this entire window. I mean, 8 signings. For £200 million, we spent a lot more than that. 325 million. And that has created a little bit of a problem. Not in terms of the transfer budget that's left. We've still got £26 million sitting in our transfer budget, but it's the FFP. That is a bit of a problem. We are set to fail it for Europe, for continental club competitions. And that's a bit of a problem because we're obviously aiming to get Newcastle back into Europe. If we do not pass FFP, we are not going into Europe. This is a big problem, and it's also a big reason. I'm wondering how many people who have done Newcastle so far on FM22, how many of them have failed FFP after trying to buy the likes of Haaland, Mbappe, Lukaku, for example. You get the idea. Those world-class players. I wonder how many of them actually failed FFP, because it is a lot tougher compared to, say, 5 to 10 years ago when FFP was first introduced. But we'll keep an eye on that as the season goes along. I think we're going to have to try and shift a few more players, but, well, it's difficult enough as it is. One of the names who you might not have noticed on that transfer out list was Jonjo Shelvey, because no one wants to touch him because of his wages. Annoying. Right, so we're going to be going straight into the game away at Leicester, and this is going to be our starting 11. Why is Joe Willock? Fitness test. Oh, has he just been injured? Oh yeah, he's just been injured recently. As you can see, we've had a few injuries over the summer, including my backup goalkeeper, Freddie Woodman. So this is going to be the 11. Martinez in goal. Vernan Lodi, Llorente, Lascelles and Lamptey as the back four. Lascelles is still my captain, hence why he's still in the side. Declan Rice at the base of the midfield in that playmaker role. Willock and Longstaff ahead of him. Again, 2 more people who have not changed from the original Newcastle squad. Sam Maximin is the last non-change. And then you've got Rafinha on the right wing. And Josef Martinez up front. So overall, 4 players have retained their position, have retained their starting position from the original Newcastle squad. That is quite amazing. We've turned this squad around a lot already. Now, I just need them to start performing on the pitch. Alright, first game of the new era for Newcastle United. It's also the first league match I'm taking charge of here in FM22. It's going to be interesting. Oh, these have not been sorted out yet, have they? Let's see. Let's just get this all sorted. Leicester formation, yeah, that's fine. Newcastle stats. And I want to see the body language. I want to make sure that these players are up for it. We are sitting on a balanced mentality because we are away in the Premier League. And it's just about feeling our way in. The whole point of the beta, we're just literally experimenting, if you will. And that's very, very close. Who was that? Martinez or Llorente? I'd like to know who was actually on that header. But for the moment, it's this whole beta is about experimenting, just seeing what actually works, what formations, what instructions, etc. And do you know what? A lot of us are still finding that out, even a few days later. Many games will have been played, of course. What a tackle by Rice. That is exactly why I brought him in. And the ball just given away. Who was that? Was that Longstaff? Ugh. Yeah, this squad is not going to be perfect, obviously. I don't know why you would expect it to be. But Declan Rice's tackle was very, very good there. Come on, I was going to say, if you could just make a tackle, but don't slide in the area. This is the one thing I hated with regards to FM21. Penalties were just so broken. I hope they fix that for this version of the game. One thing I have seen, though, is when it goes to VAR, there is actually a chance that the goal could still stand when it goes to VAR. Which would be a nice change of pace when it happens. Obviously for yourself, if it happens against you, you're just going to be cursing VAR regardless. So there's no real win-win there, is there? Right, half-time, 0-0. We looked okay at the start of that, but all I'm going to say is, well, I think we can do a lot better, can't we? We are still effectively trying to get everyone to just sort of gel together. And I think that's going to be something that will take a little bit of time. Michelle's into Lamptey. Let's see. Yep, he's got the ball forward, but unfortunately no one was there. I don't know why we're lumping the ball forward. I have got this on vertical tiki-taka. So it's a bit alarming to see that, but here we go. Players are still getting used to playing with each other, of course. Lodi literally just arrived. Oh, what is that? Lodi! It's vertical tiki-taka. Why would you just do that? Yeah, I don't know why you're doing that. It's shorter passing. Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Vernan has not exactly covered himself in glory there. That's all on him. And Leicester are 1-0 up, unfortunately. We're going to have to go positive now. And a lot of these players, some of them have been injured over the whole summer. That's the real big problem. Oh, another thing to mention about this beta, I've not put any mods in because it's recommended that you don't do that, because obviously if you record any bugs, SI then has to try and... Is that another goal? SI has to then try and decipher, is the game bugging out or is it your mods? That's why I'm not modding anything throughout the whole beta. And I think this is going to goal review. Llorente is injured, I think, and the goal, there you go, goal awarded. That's exactly what I was talking about. I think it's always going to be a case of the first one in the game is always going to be awarded. Yeah, Llorente is now injured. Great. So, let's see. Who have we got on the bit? Don't tell me it's Fabian Schär. No. Or Paul Dummett. I think it's going to have to be Paul Dummett. He's not a ball-playing defender. What do you think this is? He can be that. And I'm just thinking, what about... Vernan Lodi is in danger of being booked. That's not a great sign. Is there any other change we can make? You know what, I'll give them another 10 minutes or so. Give them another 10 minutes. Let's just see if there's any response. I think it might just be a case I haven't figured out everyone's actual best positions or best roles yet. But everyone seems to be playing with a lot of sloppiness. A lot of sloppiness, because there has been a lot of sloppy passes. Willock into Rafinha! Unlucky. Rafinha just... Oh, you didn't shoot right. Oh, you didn't shoot over, sorry. It was saved by the goalkeeper. It was lovely football, though. Longstaff getting forward a lot there. And Martinez, unfortunately, couldn't get on the end of that. I don't know why. It just feels like in the match engine right now, it just feels very glitchy. And I think that's just my computer. It's not actually just a recording. It is my computer. Oh, God. Clear that, please. Dummett and Martinez just getting their wires completely crossed there. If we can get this clear, yep, there's Rafinha, who's very, very deep for some reason. Who can he find? So you can find Martinez into Maximin. Maximin's into the area, and it's been saved by Schmeichel. We're looking a little more dangerous going forwards, but it's just at the back. Very, very sloppy. And there are a lot of tired players. And this is going to be a bit of a problem because beyond the first team, there's not really many players who would be first team quality. Right, so Richie is going on, and he can only be a winger. Wow. Callum Wilson is also going to go up front as well. Just thinking, should we actually... Who's actually played better between Longstaff and Willock? They're both knackered as it is. So I'll tell you what. We're going to send two up front. Declan Rice is going to drop into the midfield there. He's not going to be a defensive... deep line playmaker. Tell you what you can be. You can be a ball-winning midfielder. And you can be an advanced forward. That's it. That's fine. Let's see what we can produce from this, if anything. Maybe two up front might be a bit better, just to give attacking players a little more reference of who to go for up front. And my goodness, the players are just dropping like flies here. Let's have a look. I need to sort out the midfield. So Davenport is... Oh, I did not want to do that. Thank you. Oh, there's no more subs. Right, okay, because Lorente got injured. Right. I forgot about that. Alright, so everyone here is going to have to be a little bit careful in these last 5 minutes. And unfortunately, we're going to be starting this with a defeat by the looks of things, unless there's a massive turnaround in these last 5 minutes. Yosi, who used to play for Newcastle. Because I would have loved someone like Castagna, actually, because he is a good fullback. I mean, I know we've got two good fullbacks now anyway. Oh my goodness, guys! What a way to show me up on the first day of the season. 3-0. Jesus. Okay. That has clearly not worked. So yeah, this whole thing has just clearly not worked. The whole thing just hasn't worked. So maybe tiki-taka, vertical tiki-taka, clearly isn't the way to go for these guys. Because we've just been hopelessly outclassed. And it's a shame because we do have a lot of attacking talent on the pitch, but they just... It's been very, very sloppy. The shooting has been very, very sloppy as well. It's quite sad to see. Look, they don't know what to do. And I'm wondering, is that the players who have already been here? Because Rice has been half decent. Right, there's Rafinha, and if... Oh my goodness, guys, show some intelligence. Just put it in the corner. We've had the chances. Look, we've had 12 shots. Our XG was over 1, which is actually quite amazing. But for some reason... Yeah, I don't like what I saw. No, absolutely not. We had the chances, but the passing's been sloppy. The shooting has been sloppy. We're already in the bottom 3. There's no difference to the real-life Newcastle at this point. But we'll get it sorted out anyway. It's just a case of figuring out where everybody should be playing and how they should be playing. And we're going to need to do some major turnarounds for that. Right, so where I'm thinking, we will be back more than likely... We'll probably more than likely be back for the middle or end of September. So looking at Norwich and Wolves, because there's no real big games, big games, until November. So we'll sort of bridge the gap anyway. Middle to late September, probably around Norwich, we'll be back for in the next episode. So despite that terrible result at the start of the season, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and make sure you smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload of FM22 content, especially during the beta period and after the full release on the 9th of November. But thank you all so much for watching and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.